Hi, and welcome to Purposeful Progress newsletter. I'm Shannon Lövgren. I am here to give you tips and tricks on sustainability, life hacks, and introduce you to a fabulous Changemaker of the week. So let's get into it. Hi, Changemakers. We all say that we care about the earth, but caring from afar is not the same as spending a day outside, breathing fresh air and like seeing the colors of fall and letting the magnitude of nature just surround you. It hits different. And the same is true for any cause. If you want political justice, you can donate and you can be outraged on the sidelines, or you can be on the ground in a community where injustice is real and participate in creating new systems that protect people, even with your own body. Get your skin in the game. Go to that protest. It hits different. And I'm reminded of my days as a fundraiser. I would speak to dozens of people about the incredible work that my organization was doing, and they were impressed and they were inspired. However, the only people that ever gave money, and they gave big, were the people who went on the immersion trips to see the work in action because they saw it and they felt it and it changed them. It hit different. And as we enter this new season of so many things, fall being one of them, but there's a whole lot going on, don't just observe on the sidelines. Participate in what you care about. I promise you, it will bring you insight, energy, and motivation to continue to do the good that you were meant to do. It hits different. Hi, and now it is my pleasure to introduce the Changemaker of the Week, Cheney Munson. Cheney, tell me about yourself and what you're passionate about.
Hi, it's nice to be here. I'm Cheney. I've been obsessed with education and teaching and learning since I was like 16 or 17 years old. Um, and I was a middle school English teacher for 8 years. And then I became a staff developer and worked with teachers for about 10 years with Teachers College at Columbia University. And then about 6 years ago, I got kind of deep into climate and climate solutions and environmental literacy and sustainability. And so I've kind of merged those two things. And I'm extremely passionate about trying to make it easier and more joyful for for K to 12 students to learn about climate change through their kind of existing skills and talents and interests, and finding kind of exciting, relevant, local ways to make things and take action. And making it easier for students and thereby making it easier for teachers to do that work and kind of infuse it into their existing curriculum, kind of across disciplines, not just in science class, and ideally in a kind of interdisciplinary way. That's the short version of it. I guess the other thing I would add is I'm very passionate about kind of helping connect the nested ecosystems. So like from the classroom to the school to the district to the county. I live in California, to the state. And so I work a lot with educational leaders and nonprofits, but also with schools and classroom teachers. And I feel like I kind of have touch points within every part of the system, and I'm trying to create both the tools and the processes um, for making it more intuitive, more joyful, more easy, for students who are like excited, curious, or maybe a little bit indifferent, as well as those teachers that are just really burnt out and overburdened. And oftentimes, kind of focusing on project-based learning, focused around sustainability, can bring some like joy and life into their teaching. Um, so I'll stop there, but that those are some of the big things I'm passionate about.
Yeah, well, I think being passionate about something that brings joy to learning about important things is like an amazing thing. So my next question to you is like, how do you identify as a change maker? Like what change do you want to create?
I've tried to do a number of things. So, I mean, one of the big levers that I've worked on is creating, it was first just like a really scrappy website that I built that I would use when I went into schools to do kind of professional development with teachers. And that platform was called the Climascope Project. And it was kind of this, it was a database, but it was very intuitive. So it was a student-facing website where they could click on how old they were, what they cared about, and it listed a bunch of topics like fashion and food and technology and cars and buildings. And then it would kind of give them videos and podcasts and articles and pictures and websites and games that were curated around those topics and kind of showed them how those topics were related to climate solutions. And so, it was kind of a hub for digital resources that made it easy for them to explore their passions and their interests while connecting it to climate. That was really nice for teachers because it was just like ready to go. And so a lot of, especially English teachers who were doing like research projects or um, like informational writing projects, they could use that and basically just give students a bit of framing and then let them lose. So it made it easy for the teachers. And so I got some positive feedback, and there was about 10,000 users per month or so. It's a little bit hard to tell like how long and like whether or not they came back. But so the platform is a big thing, and I've started creating a 2.0 version of that that's designed by like professional web designers to make it more just sleek and professional and searchable and filterable and kind of all the bells and whistles that I can't build as I'm not a specialist in web design. Um, I'm organizing this Bay Area cool down event, which is a climate festival for everyone. So it's bringing together kind of good music, good food, good schools for a cooler planet. Um, and that will be October 25th. And so, there's a platform, there's kind of bringing a community together around different topics that are linked to climate solutions and kind of connecting them with students so that they can curate digital resources, do hands-on projects, and then take action and kind of share them with a wider audience. Um,
Like the holy trinity of of climate action right there. I love that.
yeah, and then a big part of it too is like identifying positive outliers. So like ordinary people doing extraordinary things, ideally doing extraordinary things collectively together, and then sharing those stories and kind of the process that they went through. So the idea is that students would have positive outliers that they could look to as examples, as mentors, as heroes, and then they could then work on becoming positive outliers themselves and then share their story, and it kind of becomes a virtuous cycle. So there's kind of these events and communities, kind of the people side of things, the collaboration side of things. There's the platform or hub that's kind of this digital space to share resources and connect. Um, and then I'm working on a dissertation. I'm in my fourth year of a PhD program for sustainability education, and I probably shouldn't go into the details of it, but basically I'm trying to look at leadership policies and practices that either hinder or foster environmental literacy, sustainability, climate resilience across school systems, kind of at the county and district level, so in California specifically. And I I I could nerd out on it, but for right now, I'm just gonna like say that is one avenue that I feel like I'm a change maker. In that,
Those
yeah.
You have a lot going on, and I just want to like say here, full disclosure, Cheney and I are both climate-based fellows, so we are also doing that in addition to the things that Cheney is doing. And you can learn more about all of these things if you want to nerd out with him. I will put a link. You can reach him on LinkedIn. You can reach him through his website. But Cheney, what are you working on right now, and how can we help you achieve your goals?
Well, if you live in the Bay Area, you could come to the October 25th cool down event. It's 12 to midnight at the Starry Plow in Berkeley, and there'll be food and music and a climate drag show and dancing and community art. Um, you could reach out to me if you are a technologist or um, developer either on the back end or front end of platforms or websites. If you specialize in marketing or project management or AI, and you are interested in kind of the intersection of education and climate, environmental issues. The reason I joined the Climate-Based Fellowship was partly to kind of form a core team that could help implement kind of the new and better version of the ClimateScope project. At a lighter touch, if you have an expertise within anything that touches climate solutions and you'd be interested in working with educators and students to curate resources, that would be like a once a quarter, kind of once every 3 months meeting to kind of work on the curation and vetting of resources, of digital resources. So yeah, I guess those are the big ways that, and I don't know. There's the October 25th event is a fundraiser for climate literacy in the Bay Area. And so you could always donate your money. It's gonna go towards the induction cooktop teaching project, which kind of goes towards teaching students, low-income students and families in Oakland about using induction cooktops, and they get an induction cooktop kit, and it helps kind of both improve indoor air quality and is a key solution to the climate crisis, which is the electrification of buildings. And that really starts with getting rid of gas stoves, which is good for everyone's health and breathing, and it's a key climate solution according to Project Drawdown.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cheney, thank you so much for being part of the Purposeful Progress video newsletter. And I look forward to following along and seeing what you're able to build, and the community, and the education. It's really exciting. So thank you so much for being part of this newsletter.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. All right. Bye, everyone. And thank you for watching. And please connect with Cheney and do the good that you were meant to do in this world. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching the Purposeful Progress newsletter. Hit like and subscribe. Tap that bell so you don't miss an episode. And if you want to go deeper, look into my Sustainability for Changemakers course and subscribe to our newsletter. Links are below. And if you would like one-on-one coaching with me, go to shannonlövgren.com. And I will see you next time.